the amount of effort we'll put into hitting up a girl to rizz her up, to get her to use enough mind control to get the roles reversed so that she's now obsessed with us.
Bro, why is your girlfriend so in love with you when you treat her like garbage? Have you ever heard of breadcrumbing? Breadcrumbing? No, what's that? Well, you see, at the beginning of our relationship, I would shower her with love, gifts, all the attention that she could desire. 100% of my effort. This is what we call love bombing. Also, I can get my hooks in, get her addicted to my personality, convince her that I am her ideal man. But, of course, as time would go by, I would take away a breadcrumb. 5% at most. Nothing for her to notice. But even if she did notice, nothing for her to complain about. It's just 5%. Now, all of a sudden, 100% of my effort becomes 95, 90. Do you see where I'm going? Now, of course, it doesn't go all the way down to zero that easily, for memory is such a fickle thing. But so when she does complain, what do you think I do then? Gaslight her? No, that comes later. No, I just give back the 5%. 80 becomes 85. But the sinister thing there is, all of a sudden she's so grateful for 85 when I was originally giving her 100. 85 becomes a new 100 for her. The new 10 out of 10 of happiness for her. And then I just continue this process of whittling her down all the way to 0. At which point she'll be thanking me genuinely for using her like a dog. Why would anyone tolerate that? Oh, it's simple calculus. Losing 5 from 100 is 5%, but gaining 5 from 5, you just doubled. You've gained 100%. What is breadcrumbs to a king but a feast to a peasant?
How men mold you into the perfect idiot and manipulate you to lower your standards for them in order to have access to you. Get a piece of paper, get a pen, and jot things down. Not every man tests for loyalty. Some test for control. These tests are quiet, almost invincible, but they reveal everything about how he sees you. The countdown moves from subtle behavior that looks innocent to the final one that shows he wants power and not a partnership. He's not confused, he's calculating.
Ladies, let's take the blindfold off. Men have mastered the art of getting everything out of you while giving you the bare minimum in return. And the worst part? They make you feel like you're the problem for wanting more. Let's break down the playbook, because once you recognize the game, you stop playing it. I'm Jacob Riante, I'm a dating coach, and it don't matter if the men don't get it. Ladies, this message is for you. Number 1, the emotional IOU. He knows you're invested. He knows you've sacrificed. But instead of reciprocating, he keeps you on the hamster wheel of almost. Almost committed, almost ready, almost changing. He dangles the future in front of you like a carrot. Knowing you'll keep running towards something he'll never actually give you. He wants you hopeful, not fulfilled. Because the moment you realize you deserve more, he loses control. Number 2, the guilt trip. Men will make you feel selfish for wanting what they know they can't provide. They'll call you ungrateful, too much, or never satisfied, just to keep you in a cycle of accepting less. It's not that he can't love you right. It's that he doesn't want to put in the effort for you. And the moment you check out, suddenly he's the victim. Suddenly you gave up on him. That's manipulation, not love. Number 3, the you're just like my ex lie. Whenever you start to stand up for yourself, here comes the comparison. You're acting just like my ex. But let's be real. His ex probably left because she saw through his BS too. This is just a tactic to make you shrink yourself, to make you prove you're different. News flash. You don't have to prove anything to a man who refuses to grow. Number 4, the strategic bare minimum. He'll do just enough to keep you hopeful. A nice day here, a sweet text there, and an I love you just before you're ready to leave. But real commitment, real change, nowhere to be found. Because he knows as long as he sprinkles in just enough good moments, you'll hold on to the potential instead of reality. Number 5, the you're too strong excuse. Let's address the men need to feel needed lie. Weak men push this narrative to keep strong women dimming their light. If you being independent, too confident, or emotionally whole intimidates him, he's not a man, he's a project. Stop shrinking to make him feel big. And last but not least, number 6, the rewrite of history. Watch how suddenly He forgets everything you've done for him once he gets on his feet. He says, you really didn't help me like that. I could have done it on my own. I would have made it without you. Sis, you built him from scratch and now he's acting like it was all him. The moment he no longer needs you, he erases you from the story. Don't let a man gaslight you out the role you played in his success. Here's the final truth. Stop being the preseason. Some of y'all are out here giving a man the love, patience, and devotion that only a husband deserves. Yet he's treating you like a test run. Stop auditioning for a role he has no intention of casting you in. Because if a man really values you, he's not going to manipulate you into staying. He's going to move heaven and earth to make sure you never feel like leaving. And remember, ladies, accept nothing less than queen treatment.
All right, next time your girl starts saying, I feel so ugly today. I feel so, I'm so hideous. I'm just gonna be like, yo, let me stop you right there. You really think I hang out with ugly girls? The gall for y'all to call yourselves ugly? You think we out here chasing trolls? The amount of effort we'll put into hitting up a girl to rizz her up, to get her to use enough mind control to get the roles reversed so that she's now obsessed with us?
Yeah, you heard him right. He just admitted with his full chest that he plays mind games on women because he knows he's not at their level and he knows he needs to get them to be obsessed with him when really he's obsessed with them. By the way, thank you to all the men making videos on this app and telling us the real dynamics going on behind your games and your tricks and your manipulations with women. In fact, one man left a comment and said, I really wish women would pick better men. And to that man, I say, we are, video to video, exposing them one by one. At the end of the day, relationships, marriage are also that man can have access to a woman's body. They have a high drive to mate. They're programmed that way. But instead of working on themselves and being the best human being they can be, outwardly and inwardly, they play mind and manipulation games on women instead. They devalue women as a whole because they'll never work on themselves. They've admitted to themselves, I'm subpar, so I play mind games and manipulation on women. He doesn't believe in himself. A man who talks like this does not believe in himself. He doesn't think that he's going to be anything more than a guy who plays mind games on women. But he has that deep desire, that deep urge to mate with women, and he needs an ego boost since he doesn't have any self-confidence in himself, and a woman does that for him. Access to her body gives him an ego boost and maybe cleans his house for free on the side. And yes, we know full well what it's like to be an average or an ugly woman. I know what that's like, and to have men treat you very differently. I also know what it's like to have a man play games on me for 3 to 6 months and then totally switch up because he was just putting on a facade. I also know what it's like, along with many other women who can vouch for themselves in the comments, to be married to a man and a year later switches up completely, a side of him I've never seen that nobody will ever see because he's a complete lying phony. You desperately need that kind of access. This man didn't even like me as a human being. He just knew he probably couldn't get any better, so he settled and got married. And that's what marriage is, settling down. They play these games, try to get as many hot women as they can. Listen up, ladies, this is what they're doing. As many hot ladies as they can until they start to fall apart and they need a nurse. They need somebody to settle down with, to struggle and survive the rest of their life with. Now, there are men on this app who will come into the comments and say, I married my wife and I love her and I would die for her. That's great. But you still settled down because you're average looking and because you don't have the money. Ladies, please state in the comment what happens to men when they suddenly come into a lot of money or they become attractive. They change up. Money changes people. Deaths in the family change people. When you suddenly get more attractive, the dynamics change. They suddenly go after that hot girl they always wanted to make them feel good inside, to boost their ego, to boost their self-confidence because they don't know who they are, because they're totally disconnected from love. They think that love is showing off this beautiful prize of a woman on their arm. And when she can't maintain that appearance, he discards her. It's a game of survival. It's a game of social programming. It's the game of the unconscious human beings. We don't know who we are. We're just going off of these urges and instincts. We want to survive and we want to mate and we want to feel powerful in some way. But it's another game of manipulation and control of the unconscious human being who doesn't know who they are. And the level of non-empathy you have to literally outwardly admit that you manipulate humans to get something from them. Wow. Men, stop manipulating women because they're pretty and you want them in your life. And women, stop manipulating men for money. Get your own money. It feels really good to have your own money. Men, actually work on yourself so that you can elude love and so that a woman can finally be attracted to you for your self-confidence and your self-worth and how handsome you are because of that. It's a totally different experience. Find your own value and believe in yourself. Stop playing manipulation games on each other for survival. Realize the power that you have inside. And when they speak like this, realize that they're telling you the truth. They don't know who they are. They're deeply insecure. And they're at the level of non-empathy, a very low level, to actually manipulate a human being just to get what he wants. Red flag. So keep talking, keep making your videos. Together we will become better species where women will choose much better men because we demand it now. We see through the mind manipulation games. Those are not working anymore. But keep talking. We're learning every single little trick you pull. Every single little game and a manipulative word that you speak, we can now clarify. And aunties like me are not going to stop. And you're in a losing battle if you think that mind and manipulation games will win in the end, because it doesn't. The only thing left standing is the truth, and the only thing that will ever hold is real love. So try to figure out what real love is. Try to be genuinely kind and polite and respectful to women and see what happens. That dumb, what they call simping stuff. It's called kindness. The only relationships that ever last are built on one thing, which is respect and kindness. Not manipulation, not control, and not talking about any human being the way that this man talks.
Okay guys, let's talk about it. Manipulation tactics and tricks that broke men use to make you or me, us women, drop our standards when we have so-called high standards, okay? Number one, if you have children or you are a so-called baby mother, which is, I hate that word so much, but you are a mother, they'll tell you that nobody wants baby mamas, nobody's gonna take you, you have children, your value has dropped because you have children, which is the most insane thing ever. To say bringing life on earth means your value has dropped, insane that men say that. Number two, if you're not conventionally beautiful or you don't fit into the so-called standard of beauty, they're going to tell you you don't have the look for the standard you want. Look at yourself in the mirror. You're not beautiful enough. You're not a supermodel. You're not an IG model. You should drop your standards because, you know, you're never going to find someone who's going to settle for someone who looks like you. So basically, they attack your looks, okay? Number three, if you're above a certain age, usually above like 25 or almost in your 30s, early 30s going forward, they're going to tell you you're too old, you've hit the wall, your value is also dropped because you're too old, They'll always use like your age as some type of thing that makes it that makes you believe that nobody's going to want you because you're too old, okay? And you've passed your prime. They use those words, you've passed your prime, you've hit the wall. Another thing that guys say, let me try and remember this one. There was a fourth one. Okay, let me try and remember. Okay, I remember. They'll use fear mongering on you. They'll use fear tactics, scare tactics on you, like saying things like your future, I can't wait to see your future, you're gonna die alone, you're never gonna find the right person, you're gonna be a cat lady, you're gonna have cats, and you're never gonna find someone. These are things that broke men say, or men that can't reach you say, to make you, guilt you, manipulate you into dropping your standard. I think I could think of a bunch more, but obviously I am one person. So do me a favor, ladies. If any man has ever tried to manipulate you into dropping your standard, what did he use? What tactic did he use? What did he say to you? Because I know there's plenty more out there. So type it in the comments and let's hear.
Keep her in the dark and dominate her. Women love mystery. Women love being put in line. They will say the exact opposite, which is why men don't understand this. The perfect dynamic for a man and a woman, for her to be truly in love with him, is if he keeps her in line and keeps her in the dark.
I think it's so important to understand how men will either find your insecurities or create insecurities. Like, when men are big on validating you off of your looks, like that's like their only way to compliment you is on your looks, and they literally will idolize you for your looks, like, and make their opinion so like important to you? Because if you think about it, if that's the only compliment you're getting, you're looking for that. Like, you're looking for their validation. And so what they will do is they will uplift, and then so after they establish that you need their validation, because that's one of the only validations that they're giving you is based on your appearance, they will kind of like start to critique you in little ways. Like, they will do stuff like lift your butt up and say, like, if your butt just sat up a little bit higher, you would be perfect. Or if you just had just a little bit more butt, like if you just gained a little bit more weight, like you would be perfect. And so now you like, oh, like my man like girls with big butts, like I need to, you know, maybe I need to like gain weight, I need to try to, you know, do something else. And then you gain the weight, and then he's just like, ooh, but your face is like your face card not the same as it used to be. Like, your face, you used to be so pretty, like you used to be so bad, like oh my gosh, like. And then they'll start doing stuff like playing with your fat, squeezing on your stomach, but in a joking way. Like, they will do it in a joking way. And then when you don't feel right about it, you're not even used to being thicker because you was okay with yourself before they pointed that out. And now that you're thicker, you're like, like I don't even feel comfortable in my own skin no more. Like, and then my man not messing with it no more. Like, then he gonna start calling you insecure when you never initially had insecurities. It's like they gonna point out insecurities, or they're going to create them. And it's so important to understand that manipulation tactic, because they can literally control you like that. Like, and just by labeling you insecure, just by writing you off as insecure, men get away with so many things. He can't keep his eyes to himself. He got wandering eyes. You know what that makes you? Insecure. He can't have eyes. He can't look. You see him scrolling and watching all these girls with BBLs shaking their butt. His TikTok feed, his Instagram feed is filled with women. And he thinks it's okay because you're insecure. Like, you're insecure. He can't help what shows up on his feed. Like, he don't, even though feeds are literally designed to what you like to look at. Oh, he hugged a girl. Oh, you're just insecure. Like, he can't have friends. He can't like bikini pictures. Oh, you're insecure. Like, just by labeling you insecure, just by building an insecurity, he now has control. And anything you say is invalid because you're insecure.
This is how you manipulate your girl so that she never leave you. Let's go. If you do this shit, your girl never gonna leave your ass. I promise. It work every time. Every time. All you gotta do is encourage her to date men that's doing better than you. That's all you gotta do. You don't need to be with a guy like me. No, you gotta do better than me, girl. I'm no good for you. You deserve better. I don't want better. No, I want you. I don't care about that. Got him. Every time. You don't need to be with a guy like me. No, I ain't got no money, girl. You look how beautiful you are. You deserve to be with a man that got money. I don't care about money. No, I want to be with you. Got him every time. Work every time. You don't need to be with a guy like me. No, all I do is play 2K all day. You need to be with a real hooper that make money. No, I don't care about that. I love watching you play 2K. Got him. Every time. Work every time.
The first way a guy is going to mold you into the perfect idiot is by the boundary gap. He starts small by asking you for things you said no to before. He asks for a favor, a picture, a change in plans. He's not testing your kindness, he's testing your limits. And once you give in, he knows he can keep pushing your limits. This is what I want you guys to know. Men are always testing your boundaries. They will test your boundaries to see how far they can keep pushing. They will disrespect you deliberately, disobey your boundaries deliberately, do things you don't want them to do. Push and push and push to see how far you can take it, to see how far you're willing to let go of your boundaries, your principles, your values for them, to see how far you're willing to let your guard for them. They love to do it purposely, deliberately, and calculatedly. A common example is ghosting you and coming back after a couple of months to see if you're still going to give access to them. Another example is making plans and bailing on you last minute. Another example is instigating intimacy and sex early on in the relationship to see if you're willing to take off your panties for them. These are all tests. And when you give in, he knows he can keep pushing. When you give in, he knows he's in full control and power over you. The next way men will mold you into the perfect idiot is by the reaction game. He says something slightly offensive, then watches your face. It's not a joke, it's a study. Men disrespect you deliberately and watch your reaction. They want to see a reaction on your face. Do you know why he does this? He He wants to see how much disrespect you can tolerate while still staying calm. Your silence gives him permission to keep disrespecting you. That is why when a man says something disrespectful, offensive, you need to call him out on it. You need to call these men on their bad behavior. Check him. The problem is a lot of us women, we don't check people the very first time they disrespect us. The very first time a guy disrespects you, you don't check him. You stay silent. This only gives him permission to keep disrespecting you. Call him out on it and put him in his position. Let him know he should never be able to talk to you like that again. The next point is the comparison code. He mentions another woman casually or occasionally, not because he really cares about her, but because he wants to see if you're willing to compete. This guy will deliberately call this girl's name every time you link up to see how you're going to react. And if he's able to get a reaction out of you, he knows he can control your emotions through jealousy. The next point is the guilt button. He uses guilt to twist situations to his favor. He will say things like, I did all this for you, you never understand me. If you find yourself apologizing for things which are not your fault, he knows that he has you emotionally wrapped around his finger. He knows that you're emotionally soft for him to manipulate. The next point is the mood switch. He switches moods without warning. 1 minute he's sweet, the next minute he's cold. You start chasing the good version of him, not realizing that unpredictability is his favorite control tactic. It's a flattery trap. He compliments you too soon, too early. It feels intoxicating at first, but love bombing is a setup for manipulation. Love bombing is a setup for control. He gives you the high now so he can take it away later. When love seems rushed, slow down. Next point is silent treatment. He disappears after conflict and ignores you, waiting for you to break first. Silence becomes his weapon, and your anxiety is proof that it works. Your anxiety becomes his proof that it works. When he realizes that your need for peace outweighs your need for boundaries, the test is complete. The next point is the comfort bait. He shares something emotional to make you feel safe and overshare. He's not being vulnerable. He's collecting data. And everything you reveal now becomes a tool he will use against you later. The next point is the calm down cue. He says you're too emotional right when you start making valid points. It's a tactic meant to shift control from logic to shame. The more you question your feelings, the more he leads with the frame. Next one is emotional withdrawal. When he senses that you've gotten attached, he pulls away completely and sits back and watches how far you're willing to go to get him back. And this is the final test. When he sees that you're willing to chase him, he stops chasing you emotionally. So he watches back to see how far you will go to get him, and once you chase him, he knows he can stop chasing you. This is the final test. The blame game or the blame flipped. He twists every conflict to make it your fault. If you defend yourself, he calls you defensive. If you apologize, he wins. This is not argument. This is manipulation disguised as confusion. The last point is the validation pool. He gives you attention, then withdraws it suddenly. This gives you anxiety and causes you to chase him again. All of these things is manipulation. And what I want you guys to know is guys will do this deliberately to mold you and frame you into the perfect dummy, to mold you and control you. Everything a man does is to have control and access to you. That is it. That's just it. All of these tactics to mold you into a perfect idiot, into a perfect dummy, is because they want control and power over you. So guys, what are your thoughts concerning this video? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Add more points. I'm dying to see them, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye. Love you.